Buongiorno, friends. SPNatI is risen. After a long 3 days in hell, the Strip Poker Night at the Inventory podcast walks the earth again for the 113th time. That's right, today's topic is the 2025 Easter event, aka 4 bunny suits and 0 references to Christianity. I am your host, spnanon, the father, here with my co-host Nord, the son, and our returning from the dead guest, Mymans 76, the Holy Spirit. Nord, please greet the congregation.
Greetings, flock. I'm desperately trying to remember or unremember everything I learned as a Protestant growing up. As a reminder, when one of the
True, you live in the one Protestant part of Ireland. I'm sorry.
Unfortunately.
This is horribly unfitting.
As a reminder, whenever a member of the dev team passes away, the other dev mods have to go into a locked room for 3 days to decide who the next dev mod shall be.
How many deaths have you had?
Indeterminate amounts have happened in the past. Their replacements have been so seamless you haven't noticed.
Mymans, would you like to greet the congregation?
Yes, of course. Greetings, my children. It is so nice to have you all here for this month where we celebrate the Lord. Except not at all, because it's not fucking April anymore now, is it? To be honest here, Easter is just for the bunnies. It's just for the eggs and the chocolate eggs and the Easter eggs and inserting anal beads that look like Easter eggs in your ass and then winning chess tournaments with it. Come on.
Okay, none of those characters do that last part. I think that you just threw that in there for personal appeal.
Nah. They totally do it. You just missed it. Yep, definitely. The source is that it was revealed to me in a dream, an Easter dream from the Lord. Yep.
It's true. We're recording this in May. April, Easter has passed, but of course the Pope too did pass, and we have a new Pope, so still relevant, okay, still topical. Will be less topical when this episode comes out. Maybe he'll have died already. Maybe we'll have another new Pope, a new Pope. You never know. God works in mysterious ways. And so do devs. Let's go ahead and get into it. We skipped this section last time, but we briefly want to mention the host Shilling corner. That's me, spnanon, as well as Nord, what we've been working on, just in case it's not in the agenda. I'll go first because I don't really have too much to share. These have been recorded pretty close to the last few, so I've just been working on organizing image assets for all my epilogues. The true promised land of SPNatI. So far, what I have to show for it are fully rotatable models for Maya and Jura and nearly Barnett. I don't have a full Barnett lineup to post for you just yet. I may have that ready by the time this episode goes up, so I'll share that with Solitaire so he can include it. But that's what I've been working on, so you can see them in their many different angles there, with lovingly crafted butts and flipping hair and all that other good stuff. So I'm trying to front load a lot of the effort and hopefully just make them all very posable. So once I finally have that ready and can start working on epilogue scenes, it's kind of off to the races, and I have all the pieces I need, and they're animatable enough. It won't look seamless, but it should hopefully be efficient. I don't know if either of you have any immediate comments or things you can see for improvement there.
Well, I'm usually bad for giving tips on improvement because I tend to just give people positives a lot of the time. So in the spirit of giving a positive, I do want to comment that it is commendable that you're going through the effort of doing this. This is definitely not something that you do for an average character. This is a lot of effort. And I just want to recognize that, and I think I'm really excited for it, honestly.
Sorry for all the censorship you'll have to do. So
Yeah, I mean,
just put a big line across the tits and ass.
I mean, For the most part, I don't think a lot of people in the community who make stuff in Kisake would call it proper art. To do these sorts of angles, you need a lot of determination to get your character seen from every angle. The only other person that comes to mind that's done this was Metallitar with his girls, so it's very commendable for you to have put this together. I know you're always aiming to do more and more with your characters. I know you've been feeling the crunch of the file space limits, the greatly increased file space limits that you've already completely used up for Jura anyway.
Even in terms of making poses, it's quite nice to be able to have all these different angles to work from. Forget the epilogues. If those are your thoughts for now, I know we can't get into a fully detailed art critique, then I'll let you take over, Nord, with what you've been working on.
I've been struck with divine inspiration, as is on theme, I suppose. A random user in the community server, basically, in a very roundabout way, had asked again for a feature to be able to view tags in-game, because currently you kind of just have to guess by searching by the character tag and see who it applies to or not. But over the last week, I've been working on this. I've recorded a demonstration video because it's a bit hard to show the full functionality in screenshots. It's fairly straightforward. It's just a list of all the characters' tags is printed out, and you can see what stages the tags apply to. If you've selected a costume, at the bottom it will tell you what tags the costume changes and for what stages. And for the first time, you're able to actually see a definition of the tag in-game by clicking a little information icon. And after launching it to the main game, I did test this on mobile, and it works perfectly there as well, too. So, overall, just a quality of life feature to help with people looking for, if they like something about a character, they can easily look up similar content with other characters without having to guess if there's a tag for it or not, or guess what the tag is called. Oh, the other thing is if you tap on the tag itself in the blue link, it puts it straight into the search bar. Again, another quality of life thing that was already shared by the source field and the credit fields.
There's a lot of information and a lot of mechanics that's still kind of hidden from players. Devs talk about the magic being lost to some extent when they finally become developers and they see how the sausage is made. But this is definitely a good change. I know a lot of collectibles and other mechanics are kind of predicated on certain tags, or maybe playing them with certain tags, or just interacting with those systems in general. So I think this is very nice, user-friendly information to offer. Maybe we could include the background tags next. Actually, here's an idea. Look at that giant list of artists, that whole block for Monica there. We could really use some credits reform and standardization.
At the very least, the info box can be shrunk, and it is shrunk by default if the screen is too small to it would completely cover the character sprite by default. But maybe something like a collapsing credit field, if it gets long enough, would be something we can consider. It's just very difficult for us to convey a lot of information in such a small space, especially if you want to get very verbose with credits.
Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of information to convey in those tags as well. I mean, if you've been to any Buru website, the tagging is just kind of a shit show. And Hex in particular has done a lot to help standardize the usage of tags and the definitions thereof. And even that is hurting cats among people who are a relatively small group of people who communicate a lot. It's still a fucking nightmare for them, and has kept him busy for years and years. So having to convey what that all means to the players is not easy. But yeah, this is an excellent quality of life change. Mymans, I don't know if you had any thoughts on it.
Yeah, I definitely do. In the sense that I feel like this is the kind of feature that you feel would be included in the game. And like now that we have it, it feels like it's gonna be hard thinking, oh man, we lived without this. Because a lot of the time, and I do mean a lot of the time, you gotta search for characters with a specific tag. And of course, I, as a dev, can easily open up the character editor and look up if a character has a specific tag. But even then, the thing is, it's something that players wouldn't know about. And just showing them, hey, these are the tags, and these are the names of the tags, because sometimes the name of a tag won't be immediately obvious to the player, like what something means, what a tag means, what its name would be. Not always obvious. It's like it makes sense if you know it, but initially, like for example, the dual forfeit tag, I feel like a lot of players are probably going to assume it's just called dual forfeit, but that's not what it's called.
Well, I mean, that gets into another concept, which is tag aliasing, which has been added a lot as well. They're implemented a lot, which is saying, you type in big breasts, you'll get large breasts, which is what the actual tag is. Relatively common synonyms, so people don't get lost trying to look for things. Nord, was there something else you wanted to say on the matter?
Luckily, we already had a full-on tag dictionary of sorts. Well, it's literally called the tag dictionary, and this is how the information was displayed to developers in the character editor. Part of the update was just making sure that that's uploaded to the actual website itself, and then the definitions are pulled straight from that. Some of them we could maybe adjust with that in mind, like maybe putting in definitions that make more sense for a player than being developer focused. For example, some of the tag descriptions outright give instructions more on when you should tag it as this rather than what it actually is or what it would mean for the end player. But for the most part, I think it does its job at making, conveying the basic information. Also, someone has already feedback reported this, where thanks to the preview feature for tags, people will be able to report, if a tag seems out of place for a character, people can now leave feedback for that because they can now see the character's entire tag list without being a developer themselves. Or maybe in future, people will start requesting characters with specific tags, who knows?
I don't think anyone has issued a correction just yet. We'll see. Overall, though, very good change. Very nice job coding it in, Nord. We love when you just get divinely inspired. Providence shines upon you, and 4 hours later, we've got a new feature ready to go.
Literally, I coded the bare bones version of the feature, went to sleep, woke up, realized, oh yeah, here's how I can expand it to work for costume tags as well. Did that, uploaded it to the game, and then yesterday I got inspired again and wait a minute, if I pull from the tag dictionary, I can add the more user-friendly names rather than the raw tag text that might not make sense if you're not a developer. I don't know, Doki Doki Literature Club's tag is just DDLC, and someone might not know what that means if they're just looking it up in the tag search feature. And then, now that it's just in the game, I can't think of any other way to really expand it at present, unless people were suggesting maybe splitting up the tags into different categories, and I would kind of get that if it was more something like a Boru situation where we had tags for, specific developers and stuff. But I can't really think of a need to do that, so it's just a straight up list of them all, and I think that works just fine.
And as stated, this was prompted really just by the random comment of one player. So, very relevant to the last thing we want to mention, which is the general feedback poll. It'll probably be the last time we mention this, because by the time this episode goes up, it'll probably be winding down or having already concluded. Link should hopefully be in the description. If it's already concluded, then the results should already be in the description. As with every year, big list of questions about the game. You can request various features or just name your favorite characters. Developers love to read the responses. It's always nice to get a ton of responses. It's been pretty healthy so far, and we're hoping to get a good back half in there as May gets started when we're recording this. So please go check it out if you haven't already, and it's still up and running. And you never know. You never know when your specific feedback, such as Bob's vagine lesbian epiluge, please, might change the whole game. Might redefine SPNatI as we know it. Thanks very much for everyone, to everyone who engages with the polls. But now it's time for the main event of the episode, which is the Easter event. The 2025 SPNatI Easter event, which, as stated, is Bunny Suit after Bunny Suit. There have been community rankings among devs as to which event is the best. I think Easter kind of gets overshadowed by April Fools to some extent, and part of it is probably because everyone kind of has the same idea, and that idea is bunny suits. Very hot idea, very appealing, but that's what we got to talk about today. So this is probably going to go relatively quick. These are all nice costumes, but they're similar in concept, I'd say, and they don't radically change the characters very much. So we're gonna burn through them and hopefully make this a relatively quick episode. First on the list is Kyouko Toushino in a bunny suit, although not quite. It's not the typical leotard thing going on. She's got more of a dealer's casino outfit and a shorter bunny ears going on. A little bit different because she's more of a cuter dress up kind of character than out and out sex appeal a lot of the time. But Mymans, what did you think of bunny suit number 1, Bunny Kyouko? And now I have to look up what the actual costume name is called.
Cottontail Cutie.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a really cute and well-made costume. I think it's cool that it goes for a different take, as you mentioned, the casino bunny outfit look. It shows that even within the same theming of bunny, there is variety to what you can do. It doesn't always have to be a leotard. Although if you want to do just the leotards and nothing but that, nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think it's a really cute costume. Little David specifically wanted to give her sexy underwear for this one, in the sense that this is the most adult looking underwear, you could say, that goes for looking alluring rather than just cute underwear or plain underwear. So that's an interesting part of it that's unique for this costume.
I see she goes bottomless. Is that does she do that in the regular outfit?
No, she has the top first order in her default.
Well, there you go. Some extra appeal as well. Nord?
I have to check this actually. I think she had a bit of an abridged order of ticking things off just because her. Oh no, she just skips a layer. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, she gets to the point very quickly in terms of taking things off, and I think that's nice to see. She's always pretty fun to play with because of her comedic personality and very expressive poses. I think David always puts in a ton of effort into anything he does, especially with Kyouko. Sometimes with costumes, the temptation is there to just cheapen out on some of the extra poses or the stripping poses, but he went full effort for this, including having animations for pretty much all of the strips, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a very good costume. It's a good take on the design, although if she didn't have the rabbit ears, would it really be Easter themed? But also, ultimately, I think it's turned out really well. Only complaint on my end is that it runs into the problem that all of the characters ran into this event, which is that the ears cover up the text box sometimes. That's inevitably going to happen when your character is longer than you made them to be in their default.
That is something I continually ragged them about. And I kept submitting bug reports about it until I noticed that the two artists responsible for the 4 alt costumes this year, Lil David and Just Kidding, both agreed that they didn't care. And after that, I just didn't. I just gave up on it. On the one hand, I kind of get it. It's probably not worth the effort to account for this one Easter costume. People don't even care about the Easter event that much compared to some of the other ones. But at the same time, it's like, come on, you could put a little extra effort in. I mean, this is content for your character. You want to make sure it's functional. It's a bit of a shame. I even gave the suggestion that maybe they could do like a custom, like they can make those ears custom assets and just have them droop down, right? Have like a pose set when the line gets too long.
I could say that I've only done one Easter costume for Setogaya. I do believe it's the most popular one. I wonder why. And yeah, her ears get in the way of her dialogue. And the main reason that I don't bother to do anything about it is because there's too many lines that it can apply to and too many future lines to future-proof for. So I just find it easier to not care. Because I feel like the time that I would be spending doing that would probably be better spent like writing targets at least.
It's true. If you want this kind of polish, you should really be paying us. Bunny Girl, Kyouko. First of all, how many fucking costumes is Kyouko up to? She might be knocking on Mari Setagaya's door.
Oh no, I assure you, Lil David has a lot planned for her.
Jesus Christ.
He thinks he can catch up to me, but I actually have more Setogaya costumes planned myself.
Swimsuit, sweater, sexy tomato, Santa, hoodie, Halloween, and now Bunny Girl. That's 7 costumes she's up to.
I'm honestly shocked she didn't have an April Fool's one.
That's just her default.
True.
Yeah. This was very nice, and it does have a bit of a unique look compared to the more standard bunny suit look. So I appreciated it in that sense. She had some fun. He always puts high effort into the stripping poses, multiple for each layer, because she takes off multiple items at once, and she kind of bounces between poses to convey that, bouncing between, taking like different things off at a time. So that was nice. Very high effort. She kind of ate shit at the end. She was doing well for a while, and then she just collapsed. I don't know if that was an AI change or if she just got unlucky. Kind of funny, though. On the whole, though, very appealing. Kyoko's always fun. Enjoyed my game with her. Final thoughts?
Tomato Bunny.
Yeah, good effort as always by David. She's definitely going to rival the most costumes in the game.
Well, if you've been keeping up with these recent podcast episodes and you're like, Jesus, please stop talking about this fucking Kyouko chick and her costumes, all right? It's not that interesting, all right? She has fucking costumes for every event. We get it. Well, I hope you're not sick of Just Kidding, because the remainder of these costumes are all Just Kidding characters, because every time events roll around, Just Kidding is there to deliver with on-theme costumes for at least 1, possibly 2, this time 3 of his many characters, mostly the girls. I guess that makes sense. Kaz isn't exactly lighting up the play stats as much as we love him. I'm sure he's cooking up something for the sleepover event as well, which is coming up at the end of May. And again, coinciding with the end of the general feedback poll. I forgot to mention that as well. So hopefully the sleepover costumes, new and old, can get some additional comments there, as their play stats shoot up for that last week of May. But, yeah, 3 girls, 3 bunny suits, the first of which is Yae, the girl from Mystical Ninja starring Goemon, who, among his characters, does actually not have that many costumes. She only had like one other one, which I think is like her retro look from older games in the series. And I'm going to guess that based on the tone of the series, she also dresses up with an actual bunny suit disguise at some point. That seems on brand. And this is the one he went with. Very, very more standard compared to Kyouko. It's the Playboy bunny, the pantyhose and the leotard and the cuffs and the pointy ears headband and the high heels. But that's what she's got going on. She's a ninja. She likes to seduce. Mymans, what was your take on Bunny Yae? And once again, I need to look up the official name of this one because for some reason, Playful Ninja, it's called. There we go. Some people put it in the folder names and some don't.
I would have probably had less to say about Yae, but recently I did a lot of interactions with Just Kidding and Senko. And that made me appreciate those characters a lot more because, not only did I play with them more as a result of that, but I also felt like I got to know them better myself. So, just knowing that there's quite a bit more to them. So for the bunny costume that Ye has, so interestingly, because of her first trip, it almost looks like a reverse bunny suit for a good bit. And I think that's like an interesting way of handling it. Like, so the bunny suit at first, right, looks pretty normal stuff, right? And I don't think it's unusual for bunny suits to have like pasties and the like underneath. But it's interesting that like her first strip is like the main part of the bunny suit, leaving like the outer layers and the inner part only covered by that. It's almost a reverse bodysuit. It's almost like
I think she takes off her heels first, but after that, yeah, it's a pretty big strip. She like removes the whole leotard, and you see like pasties underneath.
Yeah, so it's like close to a reverse bodysuit. And I was honestly surprised that we didn't get more of those. I can understand why people wouldn't want to make them or wouldn't feel inspired to make them. I think, like as it stands, Setogai's continues to be like the only real proper reverse bodysuit that is a reverse bodysuit from the start. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing that become more of a trend. I feel like for at least daring characters, it's an interesting road to take. But like at the same time, I understand that for some people, reverse bodysuits are heresy and they completely ruin the whole appeal of bodysuits. So it's all right, but personally, I just wish we could get more, mainly because I feel like it feels a bit lonely with Setogaya as the only one with one. I just want to see like a few more, like I don't know, 3 more for a full table. Then I'll probably stop saying anything because I feel like that's enough. But if people wanted to make more, but this Yay costume, that's like the main thing that stood out to me. Aside from that, it's obviously just like a solid bunny costume. Pretty normal stuff, and I think it's pretty good because I think that Yae herself is a pretty good character. I feel like Just Kidding, all of his characters have consistently been pretty good work.
The Ninja Star nipple covers go very hard.
Agreed.
Honest, a lot of my experience with her was, of course, the amount of banter Just Getting us wrote between his own characters, so I don't know if she has any costume-specific dialogue. I do imagine she probably should have shaved down there to avoid any possible discomfort, but going by the expression she had on her poses, I guess it was fine. Overall, it's a very very fun way of approaching the later stages, I would say. Not one of the characters that goes halvesies on it. Where they just, I'll remove the top half for now. I am guilty of doing that, for what it's worth. Overall, you can tell he had fun coming up with this, I would say. Put the effort in. And yeah, as a total babe anyway.
I very specifically did not want to do halvesies with Maya, which has caused me no end of layer frustration, but that's a story for another time.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah, Nord, I wrote down the exact same note that you did. It's like, well, there were 4 costumes this Easter event, which is a decent amount. It's always nice to at least get a full table for an event. But 3 of those characters were Just Kidding characters, and he writes full conversations for the entire game between all of them, all the permutations. So you better believe they exercised them. Spoilers, it's Yai, Roll Caskett, and Maria. And they were just talking to each other nonstop. Kyouko was trying so hard to get everyone's attention, and she was just constantly ignored the entire game. I felt bad for her. As Yai and Roll were becoming fast friends. So yeah, it's hard to know. I understand why you would make targets play over alt skin lines. You don't want the alt skin to completely consume the character, but it's a bit of a shame to mostly see targets in that context. Kind of making problems for yourself there, huh? When you make costumes for all of your characters all at once. Let's see. Her quick stripping caught me very off guard. You mentioned it already, but how quickly she kind of takes the whole thing off. Makes sense for a ninja, I guess. And it's nice that she has some pasties going on, both her boobs and her vagina down there. Well, that's more like crotch tape, but even still, different niches, stuff that people quite enjoy. So that's good. I'm going to bitch about something that I bitched about once with Kyouko, which is a character select screen pose continuity. Her pose changes as you select different costumes. I don't like that. I like when it's like a video game where you spin the model around and you change the costume and they just stay in the same pose. I think that helps convey the differences right away. That's just a personal touch of mine. At first I complained that targets didn't really acknowledge the alt skins. They did a little bit. There were on a couple stages at least some alt skin targets. So I wrote that was very nice to see. I mean, if you're going to put in the effort to make a costume for all your characters at once, you might as well have them acknowledge those costumes. And while this was a very standard bunny suit, like I said, I'm going to guess that canon thing from the game. So there's a pretty clear thing to draw from. Finally, I'd like to say that some of their targets later on, I feel like they were kind of wrapped up in conversation and they didn't acknowledge that they were like getting their tits out and things. This is a subtle writing tip, but if you're going to target those later stages, it's always nice to kind of work that reveal into the actual conversation. Either kind of throw them off a little bit because it's like, oh shit, right, we're playing a strip game, boobies are coming out. Or just make it a sexual topic to begin with. Something to do with body image, pretty easy to adapt. Overall, though, very nice costume. Are you too sick of bunny suits yet? Are you sick of Just Kidding's characters?
No.
No.
Well, you better fucking not be. Because next up we got Roll Caskett. In a very interesting bunny suit, decidedly not standard, Roll Caskett has had quite a number of costumes, but she's up to 6. Pretty much everything you can imagine. This is Roll Caskett Fleet Mechanic. And how's that for a nice pun? She is, out of everyone, probably getting into the whole bunny aspect the most. I don't know if she just didn't get the memo. Playboy may have gone out of business in the far-distant, far-flung future of Rockman Legends. Rockman Dash, Mega Man Legends. But she's got the full bunny thing going on. She has like actual paws on her hands and feet. Very fuzzy collar, very big ears. Her hair's up in a ponytail. She's having a good time. And she's wearing all white. Mymans, what did you think of Roll Caskett Fleet Mechanic?
So, the fact that it goes for a cute, fluffy white rabbit approach, I think is really nice because, again, even though it's all bunny suits, shows that you can go for some variety in the way that you approach it. And I feel like this kind of cutesy idea really fits her, especially because like Roll in Mega Man tends to be like used as the cutesy girl. Like if for the like super sexy girls, there's other Mega Man girls. I mean, if you played or seen anything from the Mega Man gacha game, there's other girls that. I mean, there's that one girl that has the huge underboobs. I'm a Mega Man fan, and I don't remember the names because I'm stupid. But yeah,
I think that's Layer,
right.
the
Yes.
girl where you can see half of her boobs and not half of her face.
Yeah. So they have those girls for the main sexy fan service, robot fan service, whereas Roll is more of the cute girl, and I think that makes this costume fit a lot more with like her. And as you mentioned that the what's it called, the hair being a ponytail is a nice touch as well. And yeah, overall it's a pretty cute costume. Going for the white rabbit and everything fluffy. The one thing though that I must complain about is that she doesn't have any butt pose that shows the fluffy bunny tail. I understand why, but I will complain about it anyway.
I would agree with you there. I think it's a very good look. Like going harder into the bunny aspect of bunny suits is certainly has its charm. I appreciate the effort with all of the, giving her the bunny paws and everything. And it's not just one. Is this a default Kizuke thing? I imagine it isn't. But she has like different poses for them, so that took effort. Overall, Roll is always very cute. I think my critique of this would be that, like, I'm guessing this isn't. I'm also guessing this isn't based off of anything in particular from source, but like, I feel like in terms of the actual design of the outfit, having just grey leggings, it basically just has completely neutral appeal, like not positive or negative. So her getting her leggings off is just more of a obligation than being for any sort of, appeal specific to itself.
That stands out to me because she already has a costume where she wears all white.
Yeah.
It's literally called Pure White Mechanic.
Yeah. But like, there's a difference between like something being white and something just being grey. Like you could have given her I don't know, fishnets or something instead. But I don't really want to complain about this because it's a very nice costume. She looks really cute in it, I would say.
I think the full white rabbit might be partly inspired from the Easter costume that Roll got in the gacha game. Mega Man X Dive, I think.
Oh.
So maybe that's where the white coloring came from. This is normal Roll, not Roll Caskett, to clarify. But same deal.
Oh god. Now the cops will be after us.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to speak of regular Roll, even though she's in the game. Nobody, don't tell anybody.
Tell anybody about what?
Exactly. Nor did you have any other thoughts?
Not really, no. It's difficult to comment because there are a million bunny suits already in the game. Roll is just a very cute character in general. Oh, something that I've only really just keyed in on that I like is that her hair is a different style. She has it up in the ponytail because, of course, the bunny ears act as a headband. So, a ponytail Roll. It's very cute.
I do like those little changes. And on the whole, though, I mean, even though bunny suits are very played out for Easter, going harder on the animal motif does stand out, and it suits her in a way. I think Just Kidding has been pretty smart about subtle theming with these costumes, making them a little different from each other. Making her more cutesy instead of sexy. That makes sense for her aesthetic as a character. So I quite like it. And there is a little bit of a custom effort being put into these poses as well. I don't think like when she flexes the fingers on her big paw gloves, such as this pose here that I posted. I don't think that's normal in Kisekai. I think that he had to do that.
No,
himself.
you can't. That's costume. Yeah.
I mean, I can see how he did it. It wasn't that complicated. They're just like ball belts or ribbons or whatever. But still, it's nice to have that little interactivity. You know, it's not just like stapled on top of her. It feels like she's actually wearing it. It's very nice. Nord posted the butt pose. It's a nice butt shape, but as always, I must complain about the dinner plate ass. I know she's more cute than sexy, but you could, come on, shade the cheeks. All right, this is not amateur hour. Just kidding. All right, I know you can do better than this. And while we're on the subject, I had to read a lot of her targets with the eye. And please, for the love of God, use the targeter's name when it's your character's turn to strip. Nobody does this. It drives me crazy. But please, I mean, everyone's eyes go straight to you. So you're replying to this character, but the player does not know who you're replying to. So you need to say in the line whose name it is that you're replying to. Makes it a lot easier to follow. Please. She also had a very funny line that reminded me, like, oh yeah, she's a robot. She's a carbon half, like weird hybrid of robot and human. She's just like, hey, do any of your arms come off? Super casually. That was pretty funny. On the whole, though, very nice costume. Very nice character. Hard to go wrong. But there is a way to go wrong, at least if you're a man, and you turn into a dark alley and you underneath a bridge, and you find Maria waiting for you. Maria in a bunny suit. I mean, you'll enjoy the sight, but you might not enjoy what follows. Maria has built up quite a little wardrobe for herself as well. All of them begin with Sadistic. This one is Maria Sadistic Playmate. She is in the most revealing, the most provocative of all these bunny suits that we're talking about today, which makes sense because she's very milfy and she's got big fat tits. She is a very provocative character. She is doing her best to provoke you. You'd best not provoke her. But my mans, take us into the home stretch here with Maria Sadistic Playmate. Again, by Just Kidding.
So, obviously, very hot costume, I do want to point out, or draw attention that I think the chest area, while dressed, looks especially nice, in my opinion. And the tie, between the breasts, that's a really hot looking thing. I wanted to point out that although Just Kidding made 3 Easter costumes all for the same event, they all have a different way of doing the bunny ears. Like, no 2 costumes of those have the exact same kind of bunny ears. And I think that's cool. I think that's cool that they have that difference between them. But yeah, the main thing that I can say for obviously her costume is that it's just really hot. And that's probably what you would want to go for with a character like her. In that sense, I think he really did do a great job. But yeah, particularly the chest area, wow. Yeah, good details there. It draws your eyes in and it keeps them there.
Is she just flexing her boobs to squeeze that tie? I don't even understand.
Well, she's certainly proud to not be a man. I can tell you that.
I'm not sure that's physically possible, but she can break men far bigger than her. So I guess anything's possible.
She's just pressing them together. Clearly, the tie staying between her breasts for her entire costume is.
Actually, I meant it was this pose I was talking about that I posted where they're just kind of hanging there and it's still squished. But anyway, go ahead.
The tie being there for her entire, the entire costume. She never takes it off. Interesting. I like it a lot. obviously it's suggestive enough. He definitely has a lot of fun making costumes for Maria that push the boundaries a lot more than, your more timid characters would dare for. Again, I don't know if this is based on anything at all. I vaguely recall he had one costume he must have based off a tiny blurry image you get of Maria from afar. Oh, something that I forgot to mention about the other two characters, but I guess I'll put it here at the end. All of the characters say pion, which is an onomatopoeia for hopping or jumping. I remember Yai says it playfully, and then Roll says it playfully in response to Yai. And then Maria here, by herself, in her later stage, basically says, oh, by the way, pion, there, has that added something to your meaningless life? And I thought that was hilarious when I caught on to that. The heart-shaped, what do you even call that? The heart-shaped lure.
Crotch covering?
Yeah, that. Nice touch. I think it's just a Kisuke default, but characters rarely ever use those anyway, and then even rarer still do characters ever use that one. So it was nice. It fit the rest of the costume. Overall, I don't play with Maria that often because of her. She scares me. But overall, whenever I try her out for one of these events, she's always pretty fun to have on as well. Her ears are also must be custom as well because they droop more than I think others do. I think Maria would be too tall to have.
They still
ears,
cover her lines, though.
They still cover her
They're
lines.
all guilty of it. What can you do?
Yeah.
I mean, I've gone on record saying that it kind of turns me on when girls are a little bitchy. Maria is more than a little bitchy. She's she's an active sadist. She wants nothing more than for you to grovel before her. It does still turn me on. She's a very hot character. I don't care if she verbally abuses me, as long as we get down and dirty under the bridge at some point. Okay, she can call me whatever she wants. But more to the point, this is a very appealing costume overall for all the reasons you've stated. I have a lot of notes, just more the play experience in general, not really related to the costume. Yai and Roll kind of ignored her for a lot of the game. She does have lines with them. She kept trying to strike up conversations, but Yai and Roll were just they were girl talking too much. They were enjoying each other's company a lot more. I don't know if they have higher priority or what. I don't know if Just Kidding plays favorites with who talks to who in that kind of situation. But yeah, she got ignored most of the time. It's also kind of funny how hard she goes after you, the player. She goes after all men, I'm pretty sure, but the fact that you, the player, are silent means she's constantly tearing into you, even when it's other girls' turns. You can be like, don't fucking look at her, you trash. And it's I'm just standing here. I'm just ignoring her the whole time, basically. It gets kind of weird to think about that in context. Again, use the targeter's name when it's your turn. Same thing as Roll. Same thing as all these characters. Nobody does it. I'm the only one who does it. I'm the only one who's right. She can be very funny. She's funny when she's sweet, but also a little bit mean. It came down to just me and her, which was very scary. She ended up losing, but I know it's because she's mostly a sadist, but when it was down to just her masturbating, she had lines specifically for if there was just a nude man standing there, not forfeiting, which is nice because because of the way the dialogue is structured, you can, if you win, if you're just standing there, you can kind of end up getting ignored, which is a shame, and she circumvents that, and that's something that all people should do, or all characters should do. Oh yeah, here's a random shower thought I included in my notes. So she hates men so much. She has a lot more respect for women. She's trying to push me away from all the other girls, push the girls away from me. Would she just break down, sobbing and crying if I actually got laid with any of these girls? She'd be fucking goddamn it. She'd be the crying Wojak. No, No, why is he getting laid? Why does MC Kun have such a hold over these girls?
Everybody knows that in the world of anime, women are attracted to the most plain, unimportant, uninteresting, and undeserving men.
I love her though. I love her sadistic faces. She's great overall. But on the subject of the costume itself, while it's a very well-made costume, I do have to wonder. Just Kidding has really exploded with the costumes, especially ever since like layer skipping was added. And like, I do have to wonder why. Why so many costumes? Does he just enjoy them inherently as content and wants his characters to have them? Because, they're all good, but some of them definitely feel more inspired than others. And I almost wonder, does he feel like a kind of obligation to get involve them in all of these events? I know he has a lot of characters, so they can any individual one can kind of fall by the wayside. So I guess, he probably does appreciate when they get highlighted for events and, actually get some eyeballs on them. So I understand in that sense. I don't know. I don't know what his thinking is. They're quite good, but, for the most part, I think the dialogue and the actual robustness of the overall experience is a bit of an afterthought. They have some nice lines here and there, the whole Pion thing. But for the most part, it's just an appearance element, and it doesn't change the character too much. I don't know. We should have brought him on. I'm sure he can justify himself in a future episode. He'll be back, I'm sure. I guarantee it. Otherwise, that's all for Easter costumes covered. So, Mymans or Nord, any final thoughts on any of them?
I think it's inevitable that whenever you make a lot of costumes, some of them will be bigger hits than others. But I think Just Kidding just really enjoys making stuff for the game. And, why stop when you're enjoying it?
Yeah, so personally, I get the exact feeling he means because, well, I've made a shit ton of costumes for Mari, as you know. And the main reason that it was just her that got a lot of costumes is because I felt very free making costumes for her. For one, because her source material is so small, paradoxically, it makes me free to do whatever I want with her costumes because I don't have to abide by any expectations. Like, for example, if I make a bunny suit for Aqua, people would probably expect it to be the bunny suit that she has on some illustration or some figure, or that they wouldn't expect something out of the ordinary for her. Whereas with Mari, I can just do whatever the hell I felt like. So I could just give her costumes. And also because Mari's model is pretty simple to work with, all things considered. It's like her model is very posable. The only really heavy costume part that she has is her breasts, and even those aren't really that costume by today's standards. Something that somebody actually complained about in the feedback poll. They said that she really needs to not use those. I will not be changing them because it would imply changing them for way too many costumes. But in a way, yeah, I also feel it helps having her model be so simple because it allows me to make more stuff. So yeah, I understand Just Kidding's feeling if the reason that he makes these costumes is just that he enjoys making these costumes. I would make a lot more myself if I had one, the time, and two, more characters on the main roster. So maybe in the future, I'll be the one that has a big boom of costumes myself.
Here's my question, All right, we get it. Bunny suits, Easter bunny, Easter egg, anal bead, as Mymans mentioned. Where's all the Christian costumes? Where's the nuns' habits? Where's the raincoats with staves?
I made one non-costume for the game. I think it might be the only one at the moment.
That's an idea for future Easter events. But thank you very much, Nord, as always. Wonderful co-host. And thank you, Mymans, for contributing to April Fools and contributing to the game in general. Always good to have you on. And I'm happy for you that your characters in particular have been so successful. And I think we've all seen our fair share of success, but Mari especially, people have really responded to her. So thanks for coming on, man.
It's always a pleasure.
Well, that concludes today's Mass and the Easter event this year. But I hope you all found some good, clean Christian fun to be had with SPNatI. After all, God created the titty, and he created the ass, and he wants his children to be happy. Especially with the holy ass. Now, if you'll excuse me, when I said I was the father, it's actually because I was recently elected Pope. So I need to get back to that. Buonanotte.